Hey there, welcome to this edition of Brand Wisdom Wednesdays. I'm Danielle Miller, brand strategist for creative entrepreneurs and service-based entrepreneurs, such as coaches, authors, speakers, consultants, freelancers, and those who are in the creative arts as well. And I want to welcome you to this episode of Brand Wisdom Wednesdays. It's a juicy one. It's one that comes up a lot. It's a hot topic of conversation. And it's about pricing. Now, if you are new around here, welcome. If you're catching this on the replay, I'm so delighted that you were able to see it. If you don't know who I am, you can find me over at daniellemiller.com. I'm also the author of Smarty Pants Branding, the ultimate guide for women entrepreneurs to getting recognized, being remembered, and making more money in their business. I'm the creator of the School of Branding and co-founder of Her Influential Brand. And I love working with service-based entrepreneurs to help them have the business they want with a brand that they love. Now, in today's episode, we are going to be talking about pricing. Now, there are a couple different components of the pricing challenge. And one I've already talked about a few months ago. If you go down to videos on my page here and check out the November 15th episode a few months ago, I talked about whether or not you should post your prices on your website. There are some guidelines that I gave around that. I think they'll be really helpful for you if this is something that you're considering and you're not sure whether or not you should post your prices. There's a lot of very popular coaching out there that will suggest that you do not post your prices on your website, but that is not the right strategy for everyone. So you really want to make sure that you listen to that episode and figure out what your comfort level is around putting your prices on your website. There are several reasons that I personally recommend that you do put them on. And again, it's a matter of what your business model is, who your clients are, what your services are, and really your brand. It all comes back to your brand. And I want to talk about that other piece today with the pricing, and that is around how to price your offers, and go more into how this relates to your brand in a little bit. So this is another struggle for service-based entrepreneurs. What do I charge? Do I charge by the hour? Do I create coaching packages? Do I charge by the month? Do I charge a retainer? These can be really very difficult to figure out as you are trying to build your service-based business. So from a brand, coming to you with this from a brand perspective and how to think about it in terms of your brand. So one of the first things is that there's always a fear of charging too much, of overcharging people. Nobody's going to pay me that. Nobody else is charging that, or my mentor or business coach isn't charging that. So can be all these things that get wrapped up around the idea of what to price your services at. So you want to step back and take a look. First of all, is there anything going on around that? Are you having some challenges in your mindset around thinking that people are not going to charge what you have to offer? And that's simply a positioning issue. That's a brand positioning issue. You have not demonstrated the value of what you have to offer is worth the associated price. So that comes down again to your brand positioning. The other piece of that is really around this idea of you're charging more than your competitors. Again, it comes down to positioning. Now, this is not to say that you should look at what everybody else is doing and simply do the same thing that they are. But, you definitely want to look at your industry, your area of expertise, what other coaches or service-based providers are charging for comparable work, right? So there's this idea of, charge what you're worth. I don't personally subscribe to that, because what you're charging is the value of the results you provide to your clients. It's not about charging what you're worth, right? It's about charging your level of expertise in your subject matter and in the work that you do and the results that you get for your clients. So that's really what you want to think about when you're thinking about charging what you're worth and valuing what you do. Now, this can be very challenging in the service-based industries because prices are all over the place, right? You can hire somebody for $50 an hour to coach you, or you can hire somebody that charges $1,500 an hour to coach you. So there's a lot of discernment that has to happen in where you want your pricing to fall. Now, obviously, charging $1,500 an hour is not bad. That's pretty good. But the thing about that is when you want to charge a certain level or a certain dollar amount, you have to make sure that you can back it up with your brand equity, credibility, and reputation. If you're just starting out and you're charging at the top end tier of what other coaches in your particular area of expertise are charging, just remember that you're going to have to be able to back that up. You're going to have to show that you have years of experience in what you do. You're going to have to show people the results that you get for them. You're going to have to really make sure that your brand reputation is managed in a way that shows you as the expert that you are. So that's one thing to consider as you're thinking about your pricing. Where do I fall in this spectrum, in this continuum of brand equity? Have I spent years doing this? Have I developed a methodology around my work? I talk about that a lot. Now, remember, your clients are not paying for your coaching or the work that you do or your methodology. They're paying for the results that you can get for them. So that's another piece of the pricing when you're thinking about how you're structuring your pricing, the results that they get. Do you have different levels of results? So for example, as a brand strategist, there are certain things that I do at one tier and certain things that I do at another tier for clients. So you want to think about how are you structuring the tiers of your coaching so that it aligns with the prices. Now, here's something else about pricing that many people don't think about. Oftentimes, there are way too many offers going on. I talked about this last week in how to structure your business, your coaching business model. When you have too many offers, too many services, people don't know what to choose. So you want to try to streamline things as much as you can. You want to, you can go to the psychology of pricing and selling and go with a rule of 3, where you have a lower end price point, a middle price point, and a high-end price point. And typically people are going to zone in on that middle price point, and that's where that's going to be where your sweet spot is. So you might want to figure out what that is. What is the sweet spot for your services that you want to be charging? And then have